Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Marshall here, and after last game, if you watched the last video on the channel, you might be thinking, what could top that? Well, I'm reliably informed there's some very interesting strategies in this game between Nick, MX, or just Nick, and Clopse. Two long-time veterans of the game. We're in for quite a game here. This is Petard. Start here with some defense to your rear and in front as well, so you've got two angles of expansion towards two different sets of three mechs, both kind of spread out and both very open. So it's going to be quite a scrappy first part of this game. Let's have a look at what's going on here then. Nick into Bot's vehicle. Clopse on the other hand on the south in green. Bot power up the yin-yang. My word. Okay, something is happening here. Maybe a T2 rush or something? With that much power, I don't really know. Nick neglecting air, though. We'll need to want to scout with some different method. Interesting that he went for those factories before any power. One typical opening is factory, max power factory. But it can vary. Sometimes factory, max factory, triple power factory. That's what we see here. Yeah, so we're just going to see docks wandering around doing what they do. Clopse going reliably with the air scout, the Firefly. Sees what's going on, sees Nick being very aggressive with his docks. Look at this. I wonder if Nick has given a follow the line command. Possibly? I don't really know. Still something to happen over there. Although he is trying to defend these fabricators at the same time. He does know that a Firefly is having a look-see. Clopse, of course, is going to try for it. One stinger with an approach vector like this should be okay. Nick, though, on the ball. Stinger, nicely defensive. Taking those down, and vehicle factory on the front. Let's have a look round the side here. We've got some docks wandering in. Clopse going to want to defend this. He's got a spark there, which should do quite nicely. It's just a little bit annoying, that one dock's wandering around. Oh! Oh! Oh, second Bumblebee. Did you see that? Second Bumblebee nabbed two fabricators. The AA moved off with the army, leaving the fabricators exposed. A little bit of mismanagement there from Nick. Potentially a third fabricator. He's having to worry about that, and there's no AA in the vicinity. He's really going to have to focus on that, but the Bumblebee thinks, I can get your army instead. I'll do that. Where's this going? Where's this guy going? Watch out, ladies and gents. The commander is going for a stroll. The commander has, of course, in the most recent balance update, had quite a significant boost to his walking speed, and Nick has certainly been at the forefront of trying to turn that into a new strategy. Seeing how aggressive he can be with the commander. Oh! More nice Bumblebee raids from Clopse. You know why Clopse is building so many Bumblebees and not many Interceptors? Because he knew off the start by scouting that Nick had not gone air. And he can know that Nick still hasn't gone air simply because there is no other air flying around. Usually players tend to go air second if at all. Less frequent is air third. Another fabricator taken down there. Bumblebee into the base, gonna get another one! No way, another. Oh my word, this is brutal. And getting a scout of the little forward base as well. The problem is now for Clopse, we've got vehicle factories as the main focus. Why is that a problem? Spinners are much more effective than stingers. And such a heavy emphasis on vehicles is going to force Clopse to have to respond, because he's going to know now that Nick is going to go very heavy anti-air, and so he's either going to have to invest in much more air or pivot to vehicles or something to at least counter vehicles. We did see a T2 bots blueprint get put up. Don't know entirely what the plan of that was. Maybe that was his attempt at doing something. Clopse, of course, saw the commander so far out, so Clopse, what is he going to do? A similar thing here? There we go. T2 bots up again. Is he going to do a similar thing and walk out with his commander? This is going to be an interesting game. We're doing a ring of roses, guys. Problem is, for Clopse, is he has not yet set up defense of his commander. Nick went and got 2 factories very, very quickly, and now his commander is less exposed. Clopse's commander right now seems a little bit exposed. More exposed than certainly I would like. Probably more exposed than he would like, for sure. Here we go. Nick's commander going to wander around here. Into Clopse's base. I hope not. That would be quite something. Let's follow that commander. Maybe not like that. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. And we'll do the same over there. Just so we can keep tabs of their locations, because that's going to be quite something. Nick going to use this supporting army to just clear a path here. Clopse needs to get up that T2 bot soon, because then he can start sniping away at the commander here. That's going to be quite nice. Clopse's eco, though, is very far ahead of Nick's, largely because of the expansions to the poles and to the western mountain range. Let's zoom that in a little bit there. Same with Clopse. That's a nice sort of size there. Zoom in. Clopse going back into the base. Maybe to assist the factory here. But lots of mines queued up. Clopse playing very, very defensively here. Does he have the economy to rush up those mines? Bumblebees coming for the vehicles. Very nice pass there. That's a lot of bumblebees now. Nick might want to start focusing on getting anti-air up. T2 vehicles starting as well in the base and moving out with fabricators. So Nick now starting his expansions. Once Nick catches up in the economy game, Clopse is in trouble. Clopse at the moment, his lead is defensive, air, and economic. Nick has much more of an aggressive production suite at the moment, but Clopse has the T2 bots now, ready and complete. Still trying to expand out to the side. Lots of vehicles and bots coming in from this eastern approach now. Looking a bit unsavory. Some slammers coming out. We going to get any sniper bots? Possibly not. Slammers probably better at the moment because of the sheer quantity of units that we're seeing. Got some combat fabs in there as well. Where are the bumblebees going? Up to the base maybe to kill off expansions. Yes, that is the case. There we go. Got them all down. Having a look around the base. Going for some vehicle fabs as well. But the Galata there staves off the bumblebees. Could sacrifice to slow down that T2 vehicles. Doesn't want to do it yet. Nick still being aggressive. Little fight here. Slammers getting healed up by the combat fabs. No more combat fabs around. Still lots of vehicles there. Commander on side to be able to defend. Nick wandered into the water though, as we can see in the picture-in-picture there. That's curious, to say the least. Bumblebees still a thing for Clopse. Nick trying to micro. Faltering a bit there. But his commander... Does Clopse know where it is? Well, he must do, because he's had sight on the naval factory. So unless he Just completely missed it. As in it was a flyover, but his attention was elsewhere. Because if he did know the commander was there, maybe he'd be sending his slammers that way right now. I don't think Clopse knows the commander's there, because if he does, the slammers would not be going north. I tell you that much for nothing. That being said, Clopse putting pressure on the base here is quite a good move. That's going to give him time to not worry about what's at home. Bumblebee's there trying to get some vehicle fabs. Only a couple down. Levelers and shellers starting to come out. That's going to be a problem for Clopse. His window of opportunity is closing now that T2 vehicles are in play. Economy is even Stevens, and Clopse needs to go and re-expand. Nick there with just a few small docks has taken out the polar expansion. Not good news. Clopse needs to go and replenish that. Ooh, Sheller in the base with the geographic advantage. Locusts, though, on the T2 factory. Locusts on the T2 factory. That is huge. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. And it's gone. And the fabricators, too. Absolutely huge. That is a significant moment right there. Nick now trying to get up T2. Again, desperate now. He's got T2 bearing down on his base. He's got one leveler and one sheller to defend the realm, while his commander is in the water, and a few piranhas just hoping to try and keep Clopse at bay. Economy back to even Stevens again now, largely because of tree eco, I believe. Or perhaps just expansions into the body of water. Nick's commander still elsewhere. Clopse piling on the pressure. What is Nick's game plan here? Is he just moving into the water, maybe taking the 4 coastal mechs? I can't see him taking out Clopse's base, though. He hasn't got enough in there. The factories are relatively even, but the army is very much favouring Clopse. Clopse, though, missing an opportunity to just push in and do some real damage, giving Nick any breathing room at all. It's time for his T2 factory to come up and for his units to be replenished. This guy's still wandering around. What is this? Oh. That one leveler being an absolute beast against the Blue Hawks. Don't want to lose it, though. T2 bots now. Snipers against the Blue Hawks. Hard counter. Commander on the coast now. East side. Nick. Almost known as Christopher Columbus. Was Columbus, wasn't it, who first circumnavigated the globe? I can't bloody remember. Either which way, he's gone for a nice walkabout. Clopse desperately trying to defend, running out of army though. Getting some lobs, needs to supplement his army. There we go. That is how much Nick is desperate right now. He's pumping out as many units as he can. Even moved into the air game because of his water base there with a couple of air factories. Trying to get defense back in. That's going to force Clopse to go for a couple more air factories. The problem is Clopse has the eco advantage again now. Plus, with Nick out of his base, he's got a little bit of breathing room to maybe even go to T2 eco if he wants to. But his first concern is containing Nick. He's more or less contained the base for the time being. Or so he thinks. Problem is this here. On the back. Could be hairy. Could get hairy. Nick just has to stay in long enough to be able to do some damage to Clopse. Moving out for the expansions now. Feels like he has enough. Doesn't want to leave the base undefended, though. Nick still has a large army in the middle. Clopse can't see it, though. Clopse still has a large army in the middle. Nick can't see it, though. Bleh. There we go. Got it right eventually. AA in there. Nick not worried about his power infrastructure. That's all in the lake on the other side of the planet right now. Clopse's commander now out in the middle of nowhere. Nick there getting a surround on this little army. The sparks nowhere near close enough to deal any damage. Snipers coming in from Clopse now as well. Forward factories from Clopse. Factoring in additional units. Nick on the defensive, still forcing out those units from the T2 bot factory. He's got 2 of his 4 lobs up and ready. I still don't think he's actually tasked them to do anything. I think right now he's just focusing on getting his T2 out. Of course, once you activate those lobs, it's going to start draining your resources. Nick there tried to kill off the Fabricator and now is sitting his units over the Galata. Not great news. Clopse's commander on the front lines, getting a little close to those slammers. What is this, Clopse? Pay attention, Clopse. That's a little... Even by Clopse's standards, that's risky. The Alpha running away. Nick smelling blood. There's a lot of slammers there and a couple of snipers too. Clopse's commander very, very risky out on the front. Oh, let's get some pelters going. Yeah, why not? Still, very risky situation to be in. Nick's commander now still in the water, taking out Clopse's naval. Ensuring the shore. Ensuring... Yeah, never mind. There we go. That's a lot of slammers from Nick now, though. Certainly outnumbering Clopse in the army here. Clopse overextending a little bit, and his commander's going to get caught out in the middle of nowhere. Needs to be really careful. Nick's commander just being an absolute trooper on the other side of the planet. Clopse missing a trick, and his army has gone. Nick is going to push in now. Oh dear. Clopse, where's your army? It's evaporated. You missed your chance against Nick, who's also going T2 Navy on the other side of the planet there. Snipers wandering into the slammer line, and all of a sudden, Nick is looking very, very healthy indeed, even with such a small base that was once upon a time encircled. Clopse has forgotten how to win a game of planetary annihilation, and that is you kill the commander. And Nick, having marked his territory in basically every corner of the map, is now laughing. He's thinking, ha! You focused on my base so much, my commander has done some work. And Clopse now in the base with very little to be able to do. There's a couple of mines there that you can only hope pick off a few. Oh! The docks are gone. Never mind. Get a slammer in there as well, possibly. Really needed a T2 vehicle transition, possibly, for Clopse, but his economy was faltering. Where did it all go wrong, you could ask? Well, he still has his expansion down the middle. Clopse's naval expansion disappeared. And Nick there with his air fought off Clopse's air advantage. And now this will be the nail in the coffin for Clopse, because Clopse did once upon a time have a good economy, and it's faltering again. Nick's air coming in on the second T2 bots, but Clopse doesn't have the production to support it anyway. Just needs a hummingbird, but it's not in the queue. Too busy focusing on micro elsewhere. Nick starting to sweep up Clopse's expansions. The air coming in still, and Clopse smells defeat. That was the game, folks. That was a very long walk. And that is the end of the video.